Okay, welcome everyone. We're so thankful you're taking some of your time out of NYSCC Suppliers Day at-home live show to hear about our newest product for skin moisturization, Hyaclear 7. It's based on the often sought after hyaluronic acid. My name is Jackie Egan and I will be your host for today. I'm the marketing lead here at TriK, and I am responsible for all aspects of marketing. And I keep up to date on the marketing trends that are going on in the beauty and personal care space. As a gold standard in skin moisturization, hyaluronic acid is known to provide varying degrees of benefits depending upon its molecular weight. After meticulous research, TriK designed an optimized ratio of 7 unique molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, which we are calling Hyaclear 7. Dr. Mihaela is going to take us on a journey through the benefits and proven science of this new, first-of-its-kind technology. Before we start, I just want to make a quick note that we will have our cameras on for introductions, but in order for the webinar to flow smoothly, we'll be turning our cameras off and then popping back on during the Q&A portion of our webinar. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A box to submit them. We'll be addressing questions at the end of the presentation. Also, as a reminder, we will be sending out the recording of the video and a PDF of the presentation early next week, so please be on the lookout. Allow me to introduce our presenter. Dr. Mihaela Gorcha is TriK's Associate Director leading Skin and Hair Evaluations and Scientific Communications. She has over 20 years of experience in the personal care industry with scientific expertise in skin biophysics and biophysical research methods to investigate stratum corneum barrier components and function, as well as skin clinical efficacy evaluations and claims. So welcome, Dr. Mihaela, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jackie, so much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. I'm very excited to introduce to you our Supercharged Moisturizer Active Hyaclear 7. In our webinar, I will give a brief overview of dry skin and moisturization needs, followed by the hyaluronic acid, the biological role on skin, and then introduce Hyaclear 7, the composition, the skincare active, the mechanism of action, and then followed by the efficacy study results, formulation advantages, and summary. Moisturization. Moisturization is a fundamental factor in maintaining a healthy skin. Stratum corneum, the outer layer of our skin, provides an efficient physical barrier against water loss and protective barrier against external aggressors. Excessive cleansing with harsh surfactants and hand sanitizers can compromise stratum corneum barrier function, which leads to scaliness, rougher skin appearance, dry skin, and wrinkles formation. Without moisture, skin becomes dry, scaly, rougher, loses its elasticity and firmness, and becomes aged and wrinkly. Properly moisturized skin maintains the health of stratum corneum, which provides a protective barrier function to dehydration. In our current pandemic world, skin moisturization is more important than ever. Excessive cleansing with harsh surfactants and hand sanitizers can compromise stratum corneum barrier function, which leads to dry skin, a rougher appearance, and scaliness in aged, wrinkly skin. In our beauty and personal care industry, there is an ongoing trend for innovative skincare active solutions like hyaluronic acid to provide enhanced skin moisturization. Now let's review hyaluronic acid biological role in the skin. The key molecule involved in skin moisture is hyaluronic acid. It is a glycosaminoglycans with a unique capacity to bind and retain water in the dermis. It is main component of the extracellular matrix in dermis and acts as a water reservoir, binding and holding water in the dermis and maintaining dermis well hydrated and contributing to a healthy appearance of the skin. Hyaluronic acid is also located in the epidermis, where it contributes to cell proliferation and differentiation. In normal skin exists like a biopolymer of high molecular weight and low molecular weight. When skin ages, hyaluronic acid production in the epidermis and dermis decreases, and therefore the ability of skin to bind and retain water decreases, resulting in loss of moisture, dry skin, rougher, wrinkly, age-looking appearance of the skin. Now let's introduce Hyaclear 7, our supercharged moisturizers. Hyaclear 7 is an optimized ratio of 7 unique molecular weight of sodium hyaluronate, which contains low molecular weight, medium, and high molecular weight sodium hyaluronates, specifically designed to provide multifunctional benefits after single use and after continuous use. The inky name is water 1,2-hexanediol and sodium hyaluronate. With continuous use, Hyaclear 7 can stimulate skin to produce more hyaluronic acid, which acts as a moisture reservoir inside skin, ensuring deeper moisturization and a younger looking skin. Now let's review Hyaclear 7 multi-targeted mechanism of action. Hyaclear 7, this unique technology, due to its unique composition and optimized composition of 7 different molecular weights of sodium hyaluronate, it provides full range of hyaluronic acid necessary to provide optimal moisturization, elasticity, firmness, and maintain a youthful appearance of skin. Hyaluronic acid contains low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, and Hyaclear 7 contains low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, and low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, it is reported to provide a better skin absorption and to penetrate into upper and deeper layer of the stratum corneum. With continuous use, low molecular weight of hyaluronic acid will ensure moisturization and deeper layer of the skin by being able to bind to its CD24 receptor and stimulate filaggrin to produce more native hyaluronic acid in deeper layer of stratum corneum. This low molecular weight hyaluronic acid is able to act as a moisture reservoir inside of skin, binding water and holding water in dermis to maintain a normal, proper moisturization. And this is a biological inside-in mechanism of action. Now, on the other hand, medium and high molecular weight hyaluronic acid stays on a skin surface and creates a uniform and lubricious film, which acts as a physical barrier to prevent water loss, to prevent dehydration. So this is an outside-in mechanism of action. Hyaclear 7, because of its unique composition of low, medium, and high molecular weight of hyaluronic acid, works via an inside-in mechanism of action and outside-in forming that protecting film to protect the barrier function, to protect water loss. Hyaclear 7, because of its unique composition, this unique technology provides multiple benefits on skin, and we have clinically proven results to prove that. Hyaclear 7 provides 7 moisturizing benefits in one. It prevents water loss, is able to reduce the water loss and boost the barrier function, prevents dehydration, it replenishes skin elasticity and firmness, it nourishes the skin, smooths the skin, and softens the skin, which is clinically proven during our sensory studies, and it's able to provide instantaneously moisturization to the skin, which is clinically proven on our in vivo clinical studies. And now let's review how do we evaluate Hyaclear 7. We have conducted one in vivo clinical study to prove Hyaclear 7 efficacy on skin. In this in vivo clinical study, we measure skin moisturization, which measures skin surface hydration level in upper layer of skin. We measure transepidermal water loss, which measures the water loss from the epidermis via stratum corneum. And we measure firmness, which measures resistance of skin to suction, to stretch, as well as elasticity, which measures the ability of skin to stretch and return to original shape after suction. We took the measurements of this parameter at baseline, 30 minutes from single application, and 24 hours later. And in addition, we also took digital pictures with a VisioScan instrument in order to assess skin surface texture. In addition to this in vivo clinical study, we also took the measurement of ex vivo depth penetration of Hyaclear 7 by measuring hyaluronic acid content in the stratum corneum via ATR-FTRI spectroscopy method and using tape stripping. During an in vivo clinical study, we investigated the ability of Hyaclear 7 to provide immediate benefits after 30 minutes and 24 later after one single application. For this in vivo clinical study, we conducted on female volunteers on volar forearms. We compare Hyaclear 7 formulated in a cream versus a placebo cream. It is important to note that with 7 days before the study, panelists used non-moisturizing bar soap to assess dry skin at baseline. In this study, we measured several parameters, such as transepithermal water loss, moisturization, elasticity, and firmness. So as you can see from this chart, we show the average results obtained from percent change in transepithermal water loss values compared to baseline. Hyaclear 7 immediately reduced the transepithermal water loss after 30 minutes from single application, and the values were reduced by 14%, significant performance better compared to placebo and baseline. And Hyaclear 7 reduced also by 31.7% the transepidermal water loss 24 hours later from single application. The results are significantly better versus placebo and baseline. These results clearly demonstrate that Hyaclear 7 starts working very fast to enhance skin barrier function and maintain a protective barrier even after 24 hours from single application. And this is possible due to its unique composition of 7 different molecular weights of hyaluronic acid. Now, during the same clinical study, we took the measurement of skin moisturization via skin capacitance. We measure skin capacitance, which measures skin surface moisturization in upper layer of stratum corneum due to the changes in dielectric constant. Hyaclear 7, as you can clearly see from this chart, increased skin moisturization by 20% after 30 minutes from single application and maintained skin moisturized, well moisturized, even 24 hours from single application. During the same clinical study, we also took digital pictures from representative volunteers, and that was to analyze visually the aspect of the skin surface before and after the treatments. The pictures in the upper panel represent skin surface at the baseline, which shows, as you can clearly see from these pictures, shows appearance of dry skin, a rougher skin texture, scaly appearance with these white specks, which represents corneocytes or squams, dead squams, which are ready for desquamation or for removal in upper panel pictures on the baseline. Pictures on the lower panel represent skin sites treated with placebo and Hyaclear 7. As you can visibly see, Hyaclear 7, after only 30 minutes from one single application, visibly improved skin texture, appearance, and reduced roughness. Skin is visibly smoother, looks more uniform, and healthier, more conditioned compared to placebo skin sites and baseline skin sites. Even more, Hyaclear 7 also maintain a smoother skin appearance after 24 hours from single application compared to baseline and placebo skin sites, as you can visibly see from these digital pictures obtained after 24 hours later. Now we measure during the same clinical study skin elasticity. Skin elasticity, to remind you, measures skin's ability to stretch and recover to original shape. An increase in skin elasticity means a youthful looking skin or looking appearance, or a younger behavior skin. As you can see from this chart, that Hyaclear 7 increased elasticity after 30 minutes by 8% and maintained skin elastic even after 24 hours later from single application. Skin elasticity was maintained by up to 8.8%. The results are significant, statistically significant better versus placebo and baseline. So not only it's improving moisturization, it's improving barrier function, but it's also improving skin elasticity as well as skin firmness. So Hyaclear 7 decreased maximum skin stretch after only 30 minutes from application, single application, and maintains this effect 24 hours later. Therefore, skin stretches less, and becomes more resistant to stretch or deformation or malleability. The less the skin stretches, the firmer or tighter the skin is. And this is what they prove, that Hyaclear 7 makes the skin firmer, tighter, and more resistant to stretch or less malleable. We also evaluated Hyaclear 7 in an ex vivo study where we measured Hyaclear 7 depth penetration in stratum corneum using ATR FTIR spectroscopy method via 10 tape strips. The study was conducted on ex vivo skin obtained from a female Caucasian donor volunteer of 35 years old. We specifically monitored spectral infrared bands in the region of 1045 nanometer and 1102 nanometers. These infrared spectral bands correspond to the presence of hyaluronic acid present naturally in our skin. We measured hyaluronic acid content in the untreated skin after each tape stripping and the hyaluronic acid content in skin treated single time with Hyaclear 7. And then we took the measurements after each tape stripping consecutively after 10 tape strips. So we calculate in this ex vivo studies how much hyaluronic acid is present in stratum corneum depth after each tape strips. The gray bars represent hyaluronic acid content present naturally in human skin with stratum corneum depth, while the blue bar represents skin treated with Hyaclear 7. After 30 minutes from single application of the Hyaclear 7, there is a 7% increase in hyaluronic acid content at the surface of the skin. After first tape stripping, there was a 38% increase in hyaluronic acid, and the hyaluronic acid content was successively increasing with depth, as you observe from this chart. And after 10 tape strips, hyaluronic acid was increased inside skin by 130%. Therefore, there is a strong indication of the study results prove actually the Hyaclear 7 was delivered effectively in the upper and middle portion of the stratum corneum after 30 minutes from single application after tape stripping. In addition, we also took, during another clinical study, we took the sensory evaluation profile. So these are the results charts obtained from a sensory evaluation conducted on female volunteers, where we compared Hyaclear 7 versus a placebo cream. After product application on volar forearms, subjects were asked to evaluate several sensorial parameters using a 10-point rating scores. As you can observe from this chart, skin treated with Hyaclear 7 felt more moisturized, felt smoother, softer, nourished, and more lubricious compared to baseline. 100% of the panelists felt that their skin felt more moisturized and softer. 92% of the panelists felt their skin was more nourished. 83% of panelists felt their skin was smoother and silkier, while 75% of panelists felt their skin was more lubricious. So I want to emphasize that Hyaclear 7 provides a unique sensory profile to skin. It provides a quick absorption to skin, a lighter feel, smooth and silky, velvety feel, while maintaining a lubricious and luxury profile aspect of the skin. This unique sensory attributes makes it more suitable for a variety of formulation types, which we'll review in the next slide. In terms of formulation advantages, Hyaclear 7 offers unique sensory attributes to skin and as well as when incorporated in formulation. It provides a lighter feel with a quicker absorption to skin. It is stable for formulating at higher temperature and stable for a broader pH range between 4 and 8. It maintains formulation viscosity, do not thicken the formula, do not drops off the viscosity of the formulation. It is water soluble and clear solution. It is highly versatile across various formulation types, from facial care to anti-aging treatments, to body care, to wash-off systems, color cosmetics, BB, CC cream, foundation, concealer, and primers. And you can use it for any anti-aging type treatments, daily treatments, as well as night treatments. The suggested use level of Hyaclear 7 in formulations is between 1% and 10% solution. And here is an example of a moisturizing formulation, oil in water cream, featuring Hyaclear 7 at 5% use level. The pH of formulation is 5.75, and this moisturizing has a light feel with quick penetration and fast absorption into skin, offering a smooth, silky feel while maintaining a lubricious and luxury feel. I would like to share my experience using this formulation on my skin. I'm using this moisturizer as a facial moisturizer, as well as hand moisturizer and body moisturizers. And my skin feels instantaneously after single application and with continuous use, it feels most moisturized. It feels really more softer, smoother, visibly smoother, and maintaining, I like it because it's able to maintain that lubricious and yet luxury feels, even though it has a very fast penetration, quicker penetration onto the skin. But I would also like to invite Jackie to share her experience by using this formulation on her skin. Jackie?
Thank you, Mihaela. Yes, I would love to share my experience. So I'm also using this as a facial moisturizer, and when you first apply it, it feels very thick, but it goes on super lightly. It's moisturizing for my semi-dry skin, so it doesn't leave that greasy feeling afterwards, and my skin is smoother, silkier, and it's baby soft immediately after I use it.
Thank you, Jackie. That's great. We also have several other formulation types which feature Hyaclear 7 at various use levels, and the formulation prototypes are available at your request. I would like to present you, to conclude my presentation, Hyaclear 7 with summary slide. This unique technology provides clinically proven immediate and long-lasting multifunctional benefits to skin. Due to its unique and optimized composition, Hyaclear 7 provides immediate moisturization, increases skin elasticity and firmness, reduces water loss, and maintains a protective barrier to dehydration. Hyaclear 7 provides superior sensory attributes to skin, making the skin feel smoother, softer, silkier, more moisturized, and lubricious after single application and with continuous use. It is highly versatile across numerous formulation types, and it provides unique sensorial attributes. I would like to thank you for your attention and participation to our webinar today, and I will gladly take a couple of questions from the audience, please.
That was awesome, Mihaela. Thank you so much. We do have some questions from the audience. So here is one. What was the age range for the subjects used in the in vivo clinical study and the use level of Hyaclear 7 in this study?
Yes, sure. Those are very good questions. So the use level for the Hyaclear 7, when we used in vivo clinical study, the first study was 10% solution, that is 0.1% active. And the age ranges of the volunteer, we use it between 30 to 57 years old. So we wanted to really evaluate or assess the Hyaclear 7 efficacy on skin and to investigate it over a broader ranges of demographics and female panelists. We're using female panelists for this in vivo clinical study, and the tests were conducted on volar forearms, and we evaluated Hyaclear 7 or compare Hyaclear 7 versus placebo cream. Okay, perfect. Hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I have another one. Can you further explain Hyaclear 7's mechanism of action?
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's a good question. So with Hyaclear 7, because of its unique and optimized composition containing 7 different unique molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, of sodium hyaluronate, we were able to prove that Hyaclear 7 is able to work via an inside-out biological mechanism as well as via the outside-in mechanism of action. So how is that possible? So low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, it is reported, and we are actually proven in our studies, that it penetrates, it has the ability to, has higher affinity to skin, has better penetration to skin, and it does penetrate to skin, as we observed from our ex vivo study, into stratum corneum specifically, and provides moisturization in upper and deeper layer of the stratum corneum. So low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, it binds to its receptor, CD44 it's called in biology, in cell biology. And once this binding happens, that stimulates further filaggrin in our skin to produce more native, natural hyaluronic acid components inside the skin. So this is the inside-in biological mechanism of action. Hyaclear 7, to remind you, contains lower molecular weight of hyaluronic acid, of sodium hyaluronate, and therefore is able to penetrate the stratum corneum and making that stimulation of filaggrin and stimulating more hyaluronic acid inside of skin. So acts as a moisture reservoir, working via an inside-in mechanism, biological mechanism of action. But on the other hand, let's not forget that Hyaclear 7, it has also in composition medium molecular weight of hyaluronic acid, as well as higher molecular weight of sodium hyaluronate. And medium and higher molecular weight of hyaluronic acid is that they do not penetrate the skin, onto the skin. They stay on the surface of the skin to create that uniform and lubricious protective physical film on the surface of the skin, providing a physical barrier to water loss, to dehydration. And we observed those results greatly correlated with the reduction in transepidermal water loss via clinical studies, and as well as being able to provide an enhanced moisturization inside of skin. So that this is an outside-in mechanism of action. So Hyaclear 7 works via both inside-in and outside-in mechanism of action.
Perfect. Okay. Here's another one. What is TOOL and how does it correlate with skin barrier function?
Okay. Yeah, sure. TOOL stands for transepidermal water loss, and it represents a, it is measured with an instrument called TOOmeter, and it represents a standard industry, standard measurements for barrier function in our industry. What exactly measures, measuring, as the name suggested, indicates, measure the water flux that's passing from the epidermis, from lower portion, through the stratum corneum to the surface of the skin via diffusion or evaporation of the water. So the transepidermal water loss, biologically, it's lost continuously from the epidermis via stratum corneum, but not via sweating or perspiration. So with our measurements, before the study begins, we ask our panelists to actually sit in the room to acclimatize, to accommodate or equilibrate to the room conditions to avoid sweating or perspiration. So a healthy skin loses water daily, around 250 to 300 milliliter per day of water. And the lower the transepidermal water loss means lower the product, in this case Hyaclear 7, provides a better barrier function or a more protective effect to prevent that water loss to happen. So we can correlate transepidermal water loss with the measuring of stratum corneum barrier properties, because water passes through, this is what we're measuring, passes through this barrier from the inside of the body, in our case from the epidermis, to the surface of the skin, in our case stratum corneum. So from this particular reason, we can correlate this measurement with the barrier function integrity or barrier function properties.
Okay, perfect. And I think we have time for one more question. So how do you measure hyaluronic acid content for the depth penetration study?
Okay, yeah, sure. I reviewed that on the chart that you saw it. So specifically for the ex vivo depth skin study, we're using an ex vivo skin. We measure specifically, we're focusing to monitor the hyaluronic acid content expressed as area under the curve between the infrared region, as I mentioned before, at 1045 nanometer and 1102 nanometer, which is reported in the literature to be to indicate the presence of hyaluronic acid naturally present in our skin. So the ex vivo depth penetration is measured with ATR, FTRI spectroscopy, and via successive tape stripping to be able to monitor down depth with depth in stratum corneum. So we measure the hyaluronic acid content first on the untreated skin, and which acts here as a control, and also on the skin treated, on ex vivo skin treated with Hyaclear 7 single time with successive tape stripping. So as you may recall, with continuous tape stripping, Hyaclear 7 was able to increase the hyaluronic acid content via this ex vivo tape stripping depth penetration studies. And after 10 tape strips, we were able to report 134% increase in the hyaluronic acid content versus untreated. So it is a clear observation or clear proven that Hyaclear 7 was effectively delivered into the upper layer and mid portion of the stratum corneum due to its unique composition on skin. So I also have here, which I noticed Carolina is already answering, what is the size of the sodium hyaluronate from Kong? What is the size of the sodium hyaluronate which is used to create Hyaclear 7? So we already covered that, I think, in one of the first slides. That we are using, again, an optimized proprietary combination of 7 unique molecular weights of hyaluronic acid between 3,000 Daltons to 2,300,000. So from the lowest molecular weight to mid portion to higher molecular weight. We cannot, so obviously we cannot provide you the ratio of the low, medium, and high molecular weight of sodium hyaluronate. This is a proprietary information, but we do have that optimal composition, use that optimal ratio to ensure a better, superior performance and multiple performance from single application as well as with continuous use. That was the question from Siu Yong Tang. And I think I don't think we have more questions. I don't see any more questions in here.
Okay.
Do you have on your end any more questions?
Nope, I'm good on my end. You're good on your end. So I would just like to thank everyone for the time that you spent with us today. I would like for you to take a poll, if you would, just rating our webinar so that we can know how we did on this one. Also, if you have any additional questions or you think of questions after we stop broadcasting, please feel free to email them to marketing@trijk.com. Someone will get back to you by the end of the week. We also have samples available of Hyaclear 7 and samples of the formulation that was featured. And we'll be sending out the presentation and a recording of the webinar early next week. So you'll be able to refer back to the information that we went over today. So thank you so much again. Thank you so much, Dr. Mihaela. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the NYSCC Suppliers Day show. Thank you.
Thank you. We thank you again for our attendance, for our being with us today. And for the questions, for great questions. We welcome you to review our webinar again, our presentation, and of course, we're more than welcome to address any more questions that you have, providing you with Hyaclear 7 sample already, as per your needs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.